Hello, everybody, and welcome to our webinar. We will get started in about 5 minutes at the top of the hour. So thank you for joining us. We'll chat with you soon in just a few minutes. Hi, everybody. If you are just joining us, we are going to be getting started at the top of the hour. So just a couple minutes now, and we will get going. See you soon. All right, everybody, we are at the top of the hour, so welcome to our webinar. We are going to go ahead and get started. Just a quick housekeeping. If you can't hear the audio, check your audio drop down in your control panel. If you have any questions, please do send us a question in the question box, and any of us on the team will be happy to answer it. Join with your computer audio. Please avoid turning on your camera to conserve bandwidth, and we will be recording this session. So if you do need to leave, we will be sending out a recording at the end of our webinar. So, getting started here. Welcome to our session. Whether it's morning, afternoon, or evening where you are, we are very excited to have you here. We're going to dive into the essentials of TC membership and give you a rundown of everything you need to know to make the most out of your membership. Our aim is to equip you with all the knowledge, tools, and resources that you need to engage fully with our community. So we're going to get started. My name is Corinne Lee, and I'm the Stakeholder Experience Specialist with Stakeholder Engagement Team at UL Standards and Engagement, and I'm going to be your host today. We also have 3 other team members available to answer questions. We have Margie DeFord, our Stakeholder Engagement Manager for UL Standards and Engagement, Anne-Marie Jacobs, who is a Senior Standards Project Manager for our Appliance HVAC and Lighting Program, and Susan Malone, Lead Standards Project Manager, who works in our Electrification Program. Behind the scenes, we also have Skylar Hitty, who is a Senior Stakeholder Experience Specialist. At any time during the webinar, please feel free to post questions through the question box function, and our team will do our best to answer them. Otherwise, we will have time at the end, and we are happy to follow up. Our topics for today will include why standards matter, a brief introduction and background on our organization, information on technical committees, tools and support, and then we'll also have some time for questions at the end. It is important to take some time to share work that highlights the positive impact our committee members have on people's everyday lives. The work of our committees makes a real difference. This here is a quote from Trista Hamsmith, a parent and member of our UL 4200A Technical Committee. Let's take a few moments to talk about the development of UL 4200A and the impact it continues to have. In October of 2020, a tragic incident happened when Reese Hamsmith, a 17-month-old baby girl, accidentally swallowed a button battery, which burned a hole in her esophagus. Despite undergoing various surgeries and prolonged hospitalization, Reese lost her life in December of the same year. The laws at that time didn't provide adequate protection against button batteries. However, Reese's mother, Trista, wanted to make a difference, so she founded Reese's Purpose, a nonprofit founded to identify, advocate, and correct safety issues impacting children and their families. After extensive efforts, in August of 2022, Reese's Law was enacted by the President, requiring batteries to be sold or packaged individually to meet the PPPA requirements. The purpose of this groundbreaking regulation is to eliminate or reduce the risk of injury from ingestion of button cell or coin batteries by children 6 years of age and younger. There was still work to do, so Trista Hamsmith joined the technical committee for button cell batteries. Trista and the technical committee worked tirelessly to publish the standard in February of 2023, knowing that it would protect people of all ages from the harmful effects of battery ingestion. As a safety standard, the U.S. Consumer Product Safety Commission adopted ANSI UL 4200A 2023 for products incorporating button batteries or coin cell batteries, which includes performance and labeling requirements. Reese's Law went into effect on March 19th of 2024, this year, for the labeling requirements. And this September, just last month, the coin battery packaging requirement was also put into effect. So standards saves lives. All right, so standards matter. Technical committees do play an important role in making and keeping our world safe, from button batteries to carbon monoxide alarms to virtual reality equipment and autonomous vehicles. Technical committees are central to the process of developing and maintaining standards. Thank you to those of you who have served on past committees and to those who are new and are just joining your first committee. We're excited to have you, and your efforts matter. Now we'll do a brief history lesson about Underwriters Laboratories. Founded in 1894, the original mission was to promote safe living and working environments for people. In 1903, UL published its first standard for safety titled tin-clad fire doors. The doors were primarily used in public spaces such as warehouses, schools, and hospitals, and since that first standard, we have published over 1,600 standards. Fast forward to June 2022, when we revealed new brands for our 3 organizations, UL Research Institutes, UL Standards and Engagement, and UL Solutions. The brands reflect and clarify the unique role that each organization plays in working for a safer world. UL Research Institutes is a nonprofit research organization dedicated to advancing the Underwriters Laboratory's public safety mission through scientific discovery and application. UL Solutions delivers testing, inspection, and certification services. And then UL Standards and Engagement, our organization, is a nonprofit standards development and advocacy organization that translates scientific data into practical, action-oriented safety standards. And that's where you come in. As that organization, we rely on members like you to develop standards that help guide the safety, performance, and sustainability of new and evolving products, technologies, and services. You are making the world a safer place. Some fun numbers to share all about our organization. We have over 400 technical committees who are located in over 40 countries with 4,300 members. In 2023, views of our standards through our free view access tool reached over 133,000 views. Also in 2023, over 17,000 standards were sold worldwide. So let's focus on what it means to be a technical committee member. What is a technical committee? A technical committee is a group of individuals who represent a variety of industries and backgrounds formed to provide input on new or revised standards to ensure continued consumer safety, regulatory compliance, and market access. The purpose of these committees is to review the need for new standards or the updating of existing standards, to develop the full text of the standards. They're responsible for reviewing requests for changes or updates to the current standards, and they're responsible for the interpretation of the requirements of specific standards. What are the roles that make up a technical committee? Well, there are lots of roles. This diagram shows the typical participants in a TC. In addition to the TC members, UL Standards and Engagement, we provide 2 members for each technical committee. We have the technical committee chair and the technical committee project manager. We will walk through the roles and responsibilities for each of these. Our technical committee chair, the TC chairperson, is a UL Standards and Engagement employee and is responsible for leading the TC, determining who will become members, and leading the committee in an efficient, effective, and timely manner. Normally, the chair does not have any voting privileges on changes to the standard, but there are occasions where the TC chair may not be a member of UL Standards and Engagement. They're not employed with UL. Therefore, he or she would have voting rights. This is extremely rare, though, and only impacts 1 or 2 committees. Our other role is the project manager. The project manager is an employee of UL Standards and Engagement and works as a secretary of the TC. This is the person who works closely with the TC chair and other TC members to process standard proposals, publish standards documents, maintain membership roster, and issue correspondence to TC members. The project manager is the heart and soul of the TC, always ready to be there for TC members whenever they have questions, need any assistance. They are dedicated to providing valuable support, guidance, and ensuring that the committee can achieve its goals. The TC project manager is a non-voting member of the technical committee. All right, there are a few additional roles in the technical committee. So let's take a moment to review the different categories of the members of the technical committee. These members work together in a consensus-based process to produce effective and relevant standards. So first, on the left is the producer. A producer is a representative of a company that is engaged in the manufacturing of products, installation of a product, and/or the servicing of a product or system covered by the standard. For supply chain, these are members of a product supply chain and include component producers, installers, distributors, or retailers. Commercial or industrial users are members of an organization who use the product, system, or service in a commercial or industrial setting. Next, we have AHJ and regulator. These are authorities having jurisdiction or regulators and are those people involved in the regulation or enforcement of code or standard requirements at a regional, like state or province, or local level. We also have government members. Government TC participants may include representatives from national government agencies. Next, we have testing and standards. These participants may include organizations that test or certify products or services, or that develop standards or codes related to the products, services, or systems covered by the standard. We also have consumers. These can include individuals who belong to consumer organizations, consumer departments, or home economic departments at universities. They may also be professional consumers or individuals who use the product or service as part of their livelihood. And then finally, we have a general. Consultants, members of academia, scientists, special experts, representatives of non-governmental organizations, any other individual that is not covered by the other participation category will fit into general. At ULSE, we do aim to maintain a balanced representation of interests by ensuring that no single interest category constitutes more than 1/3 of the TC membership. And due to this balance constraint, membership may be limited. So it's important to note that while we strive to have representation from all categories, it is not mandatory. And it can also be important to note that there can only be one representative from each organization on a committee. This means that only one member of the organization can be a rostered or voting member, while others can still participate as stakeholders. This was a lot of information, so we have a quick poll for you. Let me get it set up here. Okay, so which of the following TC members are not eligible to vote? You could just answer the poll. Let's see. We've got about 70% voted, 80% voted. Give us just a few more seconds here. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and close our poll, and then we can share. All right, so sharing our poll results, it looks like we had TC Chair or TC Project Manager. Our answer is TC Project Manager. So please do note that on rare occasions, a TC Chair may not be a member of UL Standards and Engagement and therefore would have the right to vote. This is very rare, but it is possible. All right. We also have another poll here. Which of the following is not a primary purpose of a technical committee? Reviewing the need for new standards or the updating of existing standards, developing the full text of the standards, considering requests for revisions or amendments to existing standards, identifying industry-specific requirements in existing standards, or interpreting the requirements of specific standards. Which of the following is not a primary purpose? We've got about 30% of our responses. Give it just a few more moments. We're about 70%. All right, I'm going to close the poll. All right, and sharing our results. So the answer is D, identifying industry-specific requirements in existing standards. You do not, as a technical committee member, you do not have to identify industry-specific requirements in existing standards. Your primary purpose is to review the need for new standards or updating of existing, developing the full text, considering requests for revisions, and interpreting the requirements of specific standards, but not identifying requirements in existing. All right, so moving on. Technical committee expectations. When you apply to become a technical committee member, there are certain expectations that come along with the position. Attending meetings will help to ensure a mutual understanding of the topics under discussion, as well as provide an efficient means to discuss. It also provides networking opportunities. We expect collaboration of all of our members, as well as respectful exchanges of ideas and a mutual appreciation of perspectives. Additionally, you may be provided with the opportunity to participate in a task group. What is the role of a task group member? An ad hoc group appointed by the TC chair to address a specific topic or issue within a standard. The group will be disbanded after a specific task has been completed, and there are no balance requirements with interest categories for task groups. So TC members, you're not required to participate in a task group. And meetings are normally held via web or conference call. And of course, we do also expect you to vote when it comes to balloting. Please note that there are 3 options for voting. You can vote yes, no, or abstain, and an abstention is still considered a vote. Moving on to our standards development process. The first step in our standards development process is the proposal submission. Proposal requests are known as PRs in standards lingo. They're submitted by anyone at any time, but always through our CSDS platform. A PR will typically include the person's name, their affiliation, the standard and clause the submitter is referencing, the revisions they want to make to the standard in legislative formatting, and the reason or rationale for their proposal. Next is the preliminary review. Preliminary review stage is an optional stage that happens before ballot to determine or gauge the level of support for proposal from the TC or to sort out competing proposals. This stage only provides the ability for the TC members and stakeholders to comment. No voting is done in preliminary review. It typically lasts a minimum of 14 days, but it can be any length. They usually range between 14 to 30 days. The next stop on the journey of our proposal is ballot and commenting. During balloting and commenting, the proposal is circulated to the TC and stakeholders for review and approval by means of comments and votes. Ballot periods range depending on the type of proposal, but they can be 30 days, 45 days, or 60 days. For anything to be published, the voting has to lead to consensus, and the consensus requirements do vary slightly between the US and Canada. For the US, you need to make sure that you have more than 50% of the members who can vote have voted, and that 2/3 of those votes are affirmative. For Canada, more than 50% of the members who can vote have to have affirmative votes. Of those votes that are cast, 2/3 of the votes have to be affirmative. Canadian requirements for consensus are more strict. The next step that may occur is recirculation. Recirculation happens when there are negative votes or comments submitted during the ballot stage. The purpose of recirculation is to provide the TC with the ability to review the comments received during ballot, review the responses to those comments, review the additional proposed changes as a result of those comments if they're available, and change their vote. During the recirculation period and in light of the proposed dispositions or actions, TC members may wish to comment or change their vote, and the TC member's original ballot vote will be maintained unless a TC member changes it during recirculation. The final step in our standards development process is publication. When consensus is reached and maintained through ballot and recirculation, the proposals can be published and then made publicly available as the latest version of the standard. I know that was a lot of information, so please feel free to throw your questions in the question box, and you are more than welcome to reach out to your project manager for more detailed information on your particular TC. In addition, you can also find more information on the process through our learning modules at ulse.org. Okay, tools. There are a few tools that you may need in your role as a technical committee member. We are continually working to update the technology and tools to deliver the best experience for our members. You can discover the latest published and upcoming standards on shopulstandards.com, and you can access any of our publications for free with the free digital view. On this site, you can also subscribe to be notified of updates to standards that you're interested in. My info portal is where you go to apply to new committees and update your contact information. As our main means of contact to committee members is through email, it is of the utmost importance to keep your contact information up to date. This also includes job changes or if email domains change at your company. Our collaboration tool is called CSDS, and it's where our members spend most of their time. You can use this tool to submit proposals, comment on them, vote, and you can find meeting information here as well. Although we won't go into too many details about CSDS today, please note that there is a dedicated e-learning module available for the tool on our website, ulsc.org. Additionally, if you do require more information, we are happy to host a webinar solely focused on CSDS, provided that there's enough demand. So just let us know, and at any of our feedback points, we're happy to hear from you. More ways to participate. Your contributions are vital in developing relevant and impactful standards. As some of you may already know, not all of our committees are active all the time. Therefore, we encourage you to take your involvement with our technical committees to the next level and expand your impact by joining another committee. As you can see by this list, we work across many industries covering anything from e-bikes to fire extinguishers, electric fences, life jackets, electric vehicles. Consider exploring new areas beyond your current industry and taking on additional roles to gain valuable insights. Over half of our members are on more than one committee, and we hope you feel inspired to do the same. Please don't hesitate to reach out to us. Our team is happy and excited to talk to you, and we're happy to help you find the right committee to join. In addition to those supports, we also have our dedicated team of TC chairs and project managers and specialized resources committed to equipping you with the essential skills to effectively engage with our process and have a fulfilling experience. We're devoted to working closely with you to empower you every step of the way and enable your success. Let's talk a little bit about the Learn site. Within the first month of membership, your project manager sent a series of letters that were distributed with links and information to get you started. Those communications included information on our Learn site, which currently has 7 e-learning modules available on demand that provide support. These modules cover our organization, our standards development process, CSDS, other standards tools, helpful information, and information on regional and global harmonization. We are looking to expand our curriculum, so if there are any topics you feel we need to provide additional information on, please do let us know. Our Learn our Learn platform offers a modular breakdown of topic areas, which allows users to access specific topics quickly. Each module is organized in a logical and intuitive manner, making it easy for you to navigate and find what you need. And these modules are periodically updated to reflect any changes in our tools or processes, ensuring that users have access to the most up-to-date information and resources. Additionally, we take great care to ensure that the modules are user-friendly and easy to understand, so even those new to our platform can quickly get up to speed and start using our tools effectively. Please feel free to explore the Learn modules. In addition to this webinar, we also have upcoming webinars. We plan to host new member webinars quarterly, but as I mentioned a bit ago, we are also looking for your input on what specific topics you're interested in. Learning more about, wanting a deeper dive, you want a new topic, let us know. Do you want more training on the overall process? What about more specific on CSDS or how to submit a proposal or reviewing comments? Is there a burning industry or standards topic that you'd love to hear more about? Please feel free to pop your topic ideas or questions into the question box. You can also let us know in our follow-up survey, or you can email us anytime at stakeholdervoice@ul.org. All right. We have one more poll opportunity here. And we are curious about which stakeholder support training most interests you. Let's see. Whether that be the information is interesting to you, you would like a webinar, we are just curious about what Learn module, what stakeholder support training most interests you. We're at about 70% of our responses. Just a couple more moments here. All right, I'm going to go ahead and close our polls. And since we're sharing our poll results, I just want to share this with you. It does look like you all are interested in learning more about our standards development process and CSDS. Our Learn modules have extensive information on both of these topics, and we are happy to continue to provide more to support you. Thank you for the feedback. Okay. So as you can tell, we are very interested in feedback, especially on our Learn modules and just how we can support you as you are joining the process or learning the process. So if you've taken any of our Learn modules or you have any feedback, please feel free to throw some information in a question box. Again, you can email stakeholdervoice@ul.org, and we will also have a post-webinar survey. We're very intrigued and curious. We'd love to have the conversation with you. All right. Certificates. As a new member, you should have received a new member certificate and PIN when you joined your first committee. If you did not receive them, please do let us know and we will resend these to you. And additionally, we recently launched a few other programs to show our appreciation for your commitment. Please keep an eye on your email and follow us on LinkedIn to stay updated. We value your feedback and encourage you to share it with us at any time via email or through our Voice of the Stakeholder program. If you get an opportunity to take a survey via one of our sites or email, we highly encourage you to do so, and we read every comment we receive. All right. We appreciate your attention during this time and during our webinar. We're now open for questions, which you can submit through the question box. And I will just take a moment to see if we have any come through. Sure. Let's see, we do have a question coming through. How long does membership on a TC last? Do you ever need to reapply? We do have one of our panelists in the room with us, Susan. She is our lead project manager. Susan, would you like to answer that?
Sure. Your membership is indefinite. The only time you would need to reapply is if your organization or representation changes. We need to know that so everything is accurate and our interest categories maintain their balance.
Thank you. And we will reply to your question as well via text so that you have a copy of that. Let's see. Where from the main solutions page can I sign in as a TC member? That is a great question. So where from the main UL Solutions page can I sign in as a TC member? So speaking from UL Standards and Engagement, I can't speak on where UL Solutions would have that or if they do, but you can go to CSDS and you can sign in to our CSDS website from there, or you can go to ulse.org, and UL Standards and Engagement will have all the login information that you need. Let's see. How can I be a member of a TC? Do I need to apply somewhere? So yes, you can apply using the My Info portal. So if you go to our Learn module sites, you can find information on how to apply there. If you also go to our CSDS platform, you can look through all of the technical committees that are looking for members right now, and you can find out what TC's there, and you can apply from the CSDS to it'll link you to My Info portal from CSDS. Let's see. I have a question here. How do we make sure we haven't missed a meeting invitation or something similar from the TC we're a part of? Susan, would you like to answer that?
The CSDS, that's almost always the answer. If there is an official meeting, TC meeting announcement or invitation, it will be in your meetings page in CSDS.
Thank you, Susan. I'm seeing, can I become or represent as a member in 2 committees? You can be part of multiple technical committees. You are not limited to membership on just one. So if you see additional committees that you'd like to participate on, please do apply. Susan, this question I think you'd be great to answer. What's the best way to ask questions for clarification when a subject is being voted on? I've struggled to vote affirmatively versus abstaining on a few issues when I wasn't sure I had enough information.
I would say during an open review like that, you could go to the proposal submitter who is listed in the proposal document. Each topic has a proposal submitter listed by the rationale. And while you're a member, you should have that information on the roster, and you can contact them directly. You could also, if that doesn't work, if you're a stakeholder or you can't find that information, you can definitely go to the TC chair or the project manager and ask for advice on how to get further information. You can also post as a comment, you can post a question like that in CSDS, and there is a way to respond to that live. But there's no guarantee that the person who would know the answer would see your comment or question and get back to you. So if you're not sure, it's good to either go directly to the proposal submitter or to the chair or PM, project manager.
Thank you, Susan. Let's see. I have a question here. What is the typical turnaround time for a proposal once submitted to be received by the TC?
Nothing's typical. There's a huge range of possibilities depending on the complexity of it, the timing of it, you know, the result of the voting. So it could be anywhere from 2 months to 2 years. There's a lot of factors involved, and we can't, you know, guess what's going to happen. But sometimes you can know with the preliminary review, get a gauge on how the TC is reacting to it and if they would accept it or not. But again, anything could happen during ballot.
Thank you, Susan. I see a question here. Does communication to us as TC members always come via the CSDS portal, or do members just email each other? My TC has not been active yet since I joined.
I would say everything official comes through CSDS as far as proposals out for vote or comment, meetings being announced. If you're not sure if you've missed something, always contact your project manager. We don't mind. It's not a problem. We love to hear from you, and we can assure you that you haven't missed anything, or if maybe you have, we can tell you what's going on. But never be hesitant to reach out to the project manager.
Thank you, Susan. What happens, here's another question. What happens if we miss a meeting or voting session?
If you miss a meeting, we always post the meeting report, which has the minutes as far as, important decisions made, some background information, who attended the meeting. So if you can't make the meeting, we post that within about 30 days of the meeting date. So you can watch for that and you will be notified via CSDS. If you miss a ballot, we understand that happens. But if it happens consistently, maybe 3 times in a row, we might ask you to reconsider your membership. Maybe you'd rather be a stakeholder so that you don't have the burden of returning ballots, but you can still be a part of the process. And then we can make room for others that do have that time. So missing a ballot is understandable. Missing them consistently is something we would want to discuss with you about, maybe changing your status.
Okay. Thank you, Susan. That actually relates to another question that came in. Do TC members who don't vote get removed from their committee?
They could eventually. Again, we like to use that stakeholder status because we can keep you involved. You can see everything that's happening, but then you won't have that responsibility of returning a vote. So we'll work with you. We would never just remove somebody and not tell them why.
Wonderful. Thank you, Susan. Yeah, I think I've got one more question here. I'm not sure that we'll be able to answer on this call. It says, I like the online access to standards, or is there going to be an update to allow the links to work or a table of contents? Searching page by page in a large standard can be a little bit of work. Not super sure we can answer that right now, but we can follow up on this question after our call.
Yeah, I would say as a TC member, you do have access to the PDF version of the latest copy of the standard, which is searchable, but there are not hyperlinks like you've asked for. So I don't know if that's something we're going to consider in the future.
Okay, let's see. Okay, so I have one more question here. Can you tell us about what's going on with the UL-ULC merger?
I'm not an expert on that. I could tell you my understanding. It's not as much a merger as it is aligning our organization as SDOs, so that we're more one and the same on paper. I don't know the logistics of it or the legal aspects. We've always worked together and in harmony with ULC standards. So I think it's more of a administrative type change, but I'm not an expert on that.
Yeah, and I'm sure we'll have more information and communication come out as that continues, as that project continues.
Right.
Yeah.
But it shouldn't cause any changes right now to the procedures or what we do on each of the committees.
Thank you. Okay, so I'm just looking through our questions to see if we have any more questions that we have not been able to answer. Sky in the background has been wonderfully typing out responses to each of these questions as we talk. So thank you, Sky. Please do feel free to ask any of the questions in the question box. If you have a question that you think is too specific or maybe not the best for this area, or you're just not sure if you want to ask, feel free to email your project manager or TC chair, or you can also email stakeholdervoice@ul.org. And we are happy to get you the information that you're looking for if we've got it. Otherwise, I think we've answered all of our questions. So we'll go ahead and wrap it up. Yeah, we've answered all our questions, so we'll go ahead and move along and wrap things up and give you some of your time back. So thank you again. Thank you for all that you do for and with UL standards and engagement. We really appreciate your contributions to our standards development process. The work that you do does have an impact. We will be sending a recording of this session along with a link to provide feedback within the next week or so. Please do let us know what you think about today's content. Finally, if you have any suggestions for future content or questions related to TC membership, again, contact your project manager or the stakeholder engagement team at stakeholdervoice@ul.org. Thank you very much for your attendance, your interest, your questions. We are appreciative as always for working with you, and I hope you have a wonderful morning, afternoon, evening, wherever you are. Thank you very much, everybody.